Welcome to this lesson. In this study, we will be continuing our quest to understand how adverbial participles function in the context of the New Testament. Our text for this lesson comes out of the book of Mark. Mark 1 verse 5b reads, Ke evaptizon tu up aftu in to Jordane putamo. Ex homologumeni tas hamartias afton. Translation: and they were being baptized by him in the Jordan River while confessing their sins. Let us now consider the syntactical relationships in this text. Before we do that, I first want to draw your attention to the anarthrous ex homologumeni. Since there's no article, we already have a very strong clue that this participle might just be functioning as an adverbial participle. Context, of course, will be the determining factor. Moving on from there, we begin with a connective conjunction ke, which conjoins this clause with the previous, and then we find our main clause, which is translated as, and they were being baptized. I want you to notice that I've indicated the subject they in brackets. It of course is embedded in the main verb evaptizontu. I've done that in order to alert you to the fact that it refers back to the compound subject, which is all the country of Judea and all of Jerusalem. The main verb is then developed by two prepositional phrases, the first one being up aftu. Up aftu gives us the agent through whom the action of the main verb is being performed by, and ento Jordane potamo gives us the place where the action was taking place at. The main verb is then further developed by an anarthrous participle phrase ex homologumeni tas hamartias afton. To put it all together, let's see what we've got. We now know that they were being baptized by him. The him obviously referring back to John the Baptist, right? The action took place in the Jordan River, and it happened as they were confessing their sins. As we can see, the force of the action described by the participle ex homologumeni is primarily directed towards the main verb evaptizontu. It therefore seems to be functioning adverbially and not adjectively. Though, as a verbal adjective, remember that it will still agree with the noun it modifies in case, number, and gender. What is more, because this participle tells us more about the circumstances surrounding the action of the main verb, Dr. Mounds classifies ex homologumeni as a participle of attendant circumstances. To end this lesson, let's remind ourselves of some of the main points that we have learned concerning adverbial participles. We have firstly learned that they emphasize the verbal over the adjectival nuance. Secondly, that they are grammatically subordinate to their controlling verb. And thirdly, that most of them belong to one of 8 categories. It is not always easy to classify these types of participles, but most of them belong to one of 8 categories. When it comes to present tense adverbial participles, we know that they are usually contemporaneous in time to the action of the main verb, although there are most definite exceptions to the rule, and then they usually have an aspect that indicates a continuous action.